You're riding with Rev and The Godfather on Road.fm.
Happy Independence Day, everybody. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July. What does the 4th of July stand for? What is it for? What's the Independence Day? 1776. Come on.
Oh, what does it stand for at my house?
Yeah.
Well,
he's on the keyboard, ladies and gentlemen.
If you ask my kids what it stands for, it's me blowing up half the neighborhood with $1,000 worth of damn.
Hey, I'm coming by your house.
Oh my God. We went and bought the stuff last week.
You got mortars?
Oh man. They got this thing called United We Stand. It's a box. It's got 143 mortar shells. And,
with report?
Oh yeah. It's got, no. This stuff is the kind, it said 143 shots and then there's 70 some odd, what they call a break, where like it fires, boom, and then it does something else.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I mean, look, when I was a kid, and we'll get back to the seriousness of what Independence Day stands for. But
probably not, but
this is just too much fun to talk about.
We're talking about fireworks. This is, how much more American can you get?
Yeah. So it used to be that we would all load up in the truck and go down to the waterfront, to the beach and watch the fireworks. Mm-hmm. Well, and then it just got to where that was just more of a pain in the ass. And then with COVID, God forbid, you go outside. So.
No, remember that one time we were at the park and the idiot threw the M80 into the crowd?
Yep.
Sure.
When we were, and the thing about it too, when I was younger and we were kids, you couldn't buy fireworks. If they caught you with a damn firecracker, they used a federal case, and you couldn't. Sparklers were about the coolest thing you could do. Now, I can put on a show. So,
big kids with money.
Oh man, so my buddy Jim, a few years ago, we decided we were going to launch. And it kind of what got us going on it. We were talking about. I got a neighbor on the next block. Mm-hmm. And that hippie blows up, like he goes all out.
Gotcha.
He's
so you're in competition.
Right. So we just would put lawn chairs outside and watch his show.
Gotcha.
Well, then, I was telling my buddy about it. I said, we need to buy some fireworks. Now, I'll say this before I tell you that story. So my fireworks experience, my first time that I actually had mortars that I could shoot myself. My wife's Puerto Rican, which means her father's Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. All right. They live over in Point Siena.
Gotcha.
All right. Point Siena is basically Little San Juan. There is no gringos in that neighborhood. So, you're over there in Point Siena. Everything's in Spanish,
Yep.
So they would buy hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of fireworks. They would show
the whole
up.
Neighborhood pitches in. Yeah.
They would show up with garbage bags full of damn mortars and stuff. Well, what they would do is you had a whole crowd of people in the backyard, men, women, children, and they would set the mortars up on the table, one of them old floppy half glass tables, that everybody had, at the Walmart, and his house backed up to the canal, which is why they always shot in his backyard.
Water. Okay.
Right? So me being the gringo and one of the few smokers, I always had a lighter, and they would just set them on that table, and then they'd all stand around, and we're going to do a launch. All right. So we're going to light 4 of them at one time,
run.
And then drop them. Well, hell, invariably, one of them blows up first, knocks the other 4 over.
Of course.
And it's like it's like Vietnam, man. It's like, you ever seen that Apocalypse Now when them poor people are running from that napalm? It's like boom, 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 man. So I had like put my daughter inside. You're going to stay inside by the screen door. You
where
watch
it's
this.
safe.
Yeah. So the next year I came with a screw gun, and a piece of plywood, and I screwed the tubes down so nobody got killed.
So you got smart.
They're
like, oh, we like him here.
Right.
Bring the gringo back.
Bring the gringo back. He don't mind lighting the fireworks while we drink beer.
Yeah.
So when we bought them,
what do fireworks represent?
Oh man, the
victory,
bombs bursting in air, brother.
Come on.
So we bought when me and my buddy Jim bought our first load here for the house. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, keep that music going. There
you go.
So we would set them fireworks up, and what I built a command center. So I got an old roll around garbage can. I screwed my plywood, my 3/4 inch plywood to the top of it. I put my on the four corners of the thing. I got my launch tubes.
You got to see the smile on his face.
And then I put my grand finale box in the middle.
Oh, the big one.
Oh yeah. And man, it's just boom, 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 and that, I mean, it is.
What more American is that?
Oh Lord! And I tell you what, and I'll show you the picture. I got a red, white, and blue flag cape that I put on.
There you
Hell
go.
Yeah!
So you're Mr. America.
Oh man, and we're out there.
But what
just
are you eating?
blasting.
You burgers, steaks, hot dogs?
No burgers. I cook. I cook the fillets.
Come on.
Oh yeah, man. I'm not joking around. Yeah, well,
folks, this is what America's about.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
I mean, there's enough beef on that thing, and the vegan would. If a vegan ever showed up at my place, he would just pass out from fright. Like one of them people like PETA. If a PETA guy come to my house, I mean, what do they say? Meat is murder. You could call me down, John Wayne Gacy. I'm Jack the Ripper over there. So.
Well, what about that? All right. Speaking of that, if you remember. The video that was on YouTube, the gentleman, he was barbecuing. He had like a slab of ribs. He had a smoker in his own backyard, minding his own business. And a Karen called the police. The police showed up and said, "Sir, your scent can't be in her yard.
Wow.
The scent of your meat can't be in her yard." They fined him for that, for having a barbecue.
I tell you what.
That's Karenism.
Oh, man. There you coined a phrase.
Karenism. There you go, folks.
But that, in my neighborhood, so when I growing up there, it was just a regular old white honky neighborhood, all them,
If you didn't know, he was white.
Yeah.
Now you know.
So now it's a rainbow coalition. We got everybody in there. No transgendered yet, but we're working on it.
No.
And I'm sure there's somebody cooking one up. But I
can't believe he just said that.
My family's half Puerto Rican. We've got Dominicans next to us, and like what's funny is, but Mexicans behind us, Dominicans to the left of us, and right behind him's Puerto Ricans, and they all three hate. But
what's funny is when I come in the neighborhood, they look at me funny.
We set up, but when we're blowing it up though, they all come out. They've learned, and this year's going to be
what time?
We're going to be as soon as the sun goes down.
8 o'clock.
Yeah,
8:30.
Provided it ain't raining.
What day?
On July 4th, man. Right, cool. On a Sunday. I'm not messing around.
All right, let's do it. I'll be there.
Give me a lighter. We've been blowing up, and I've got. They got this thing now. Well, I mean, all the fireworks stands, I don't know if any of y'all have been to them, but they all claim to be buy one, get one free.
They never are.
Well, you buy a $350 box of fireworks, they give you another $350 box of fireworks. I mean, so you walk out of there with 300 shots. They got this thing now called the Honey Badger that my son wanted. It's got 60 some shots in it. You light that thing by itself and it just goes,
Oh, Lord.
Right. So they gave him 2 of them.
Okay.
And then we got another box of mortars that they ended up with. So, I mean, like it's gonna be
fun.
Oh yeah, hours. I'm not gonna. Every finger on my hand is gonna be singed off.
I'm bringing my Kevlar gloves.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be a blast.
We did that one year up in Bridgeport, Connecticut. My buddy Big J. He spent, I don't even know how much, and the police came out, the fire department, the cops blocked the road.
Oh, yeah.
Just nonstop.
Oh, yeah.
Just everyone.
The only thing I'm going to do that I'm not going to do this year that I did last year is when we were there at the fireworks stand, they had those Chinese lanterns, you know what I'm talking about? That you light it.
And it goes up in the air.
And it floats up in the air.
This year, forest fire somewhere.
This year is wet and rainy, and we'll be lucky if it ain't raining on us that day.
Mm-hmm.
Last year it was dry. And I pulled that thing out of the box and I thought, well, let's see what this thing does. Well, first of all, on the picture, on the paper, on the packaging,
it looked
small. It looked like it might be 12 inches tall, 16 inches tall. Nope. That thing
it's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, that's like 40 inches tall.
Yeah.
All right. So I unfold the damn thing. It's like, man, well, of course the kids are like, well, you got to launch it, And And I'm like, nah. And it was still. The night was so still. There was no wind. So I thought, well, I'll launch.
You invaded airspace with that damn thing.
So first of all, the damn thing that you light is just this folded up piece of paper that's like soaked in kerosene or something. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I lit the thing, and it started to fill up. Well, there was a tear in it. So I took a piece of duct tape, put it on the tear. Of course, that weighted it down a little bit.
Right.
So it was just kind of hovering
because it's all paper.
Right. I mean, and it's like made of damn tissue paper.
Gotcha.
Which, something that you light on fire. Hey man, I'm not going to. I don't advocate. I don't advocate anything being illegal, but. So I light the thing, and I'm sitting there, and it's kind of hovering, at about the 2 or 3 feet off the ground. I thought, well, hell, this is kind of neat. And then it just started going up. Now I couldn't reach it no more. And it's up. Well, there's this giant oak tree in my neighbor's yard, and it's heading right for it. And it was so dry. It was so dry. I thought, oh my God, if it lands in that tree, that whole damn thing is going to burn. I mean,
you're going to prison.
The whole neighborhood's going to burn. I'm going to have to pack up and leave, and then drive back, act like I'm surprised, Man, what happened? What happened?
Yeah.
But thank God I watched it, and it just went right to the top of that tree and just a few inches from hitting it. And then it just went up into the sky. Thank God, man.
Yeah, but where do they come down? Because they hit a jet stream. Them things are gone.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember seeing a couple in the sky one night. I was like, the heck is that? The neighbors, on our block, they were having a wedding. And they lit those things off, and they went up together.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, those things are going pretty high. They're not going to get those back. And sure enough.
Well, it's like when them old Mylar balloons, that you buy for the kids' birthday parties, one of them damn things get loose, man. It'll go way the hell up there.
They just made those illegal in L.A.
What? Oh, I'm sure turtles are choking on them or some shit.
Something got clogged up in some state building, like their air conditioning unit.
I tell you what I wanted to do, what I've always wanted to do.
Oh, brother.
Maybe
is it legal?
Well, it should be. They make blow up dolls.
I don't know about that.
Well, they make them. For that are like they look like ladies that are really surprised
for the
like get shot. Oh. Well, they make men ones too. Right?
Oh no!
So I thought I'd get one, fill it full of helium, and put it in a damn Superman costume.
And just have him flying across.
And just launch him.
Just let him go?
I just let him go, like over the city. I mean,
folks, if you see
a
blow-up doll, with an erection,
well, we'd have to tape that thing down.
Oh my goodness!
Well, maybe they act like a weather vane, or
weather vane,
spin around,
really a vane.
But yeah, this thing. But could you imagine you just driving along and you see Superman? You would be like, oh damn.
And he's just flying across.
Hell yeah, man.
You know that someone's going to do that. They're going to blame us.
Oh, man. I just, I
can see the cops coming in.
Here's the thing. You spend your life growing up, and then when you get grown up, you don't do any of the cool shit.
You don't do anything cool anymore. And we got the money to do it.
I mean, when I was a kid, there was this lady that would always put a dummy out in her yard at Christmas time. And she had a fake palm tree that lit up like a Christmas tree.
Right.
And a lawn chair. And then she'd put a dummy in a Santa suit,
on the chair.
It's kicked back with a pina colada or something, and everybody drive
Florida
by.
style.
Yeah, everybody drive by and go, oh, isn't that clever?
Yeah.
Well, we stole the damn thing with teenagers.
Jeez.
All right, we stole the damn thing. So we took him, and we all worked at a popular restaurant at the time.
There's a police report about this somewhere.
Oh, no. I guarantee you there is.
Oh, my goodness.
So
statute of limitations, folks.
Oh yeah, this was several decades ago.
Okay, good.
So we took him to where we worked, and went into the bathroom, put him in the ladies' bathroom, sitting on the toilet, right? So like when you come in, you just see the boots in there. Now restaurant closed, right? Restaurant's closed, and it's time for the waitress to go in and clean clean the bathrooms.
Hello,
because the men back then we would clean the men's room and the women would clean the women's room.
Well, that's when you had men and women's room. Well, not today. If Joe Biden. So
they go in and they got and I remember this young lady goes in there and you can hear her saying, "Sir," and she comes running out. Oh, she thought that somebody had died on the damn toilet
because all you see is his boots.
All you see is the boots, right? So we went in, we got him, and everybody laughed. Everybody yelled. Well, back then, this is a small enough town. That same woman had left her car open. Mm-hmm. So we went in, put him in the front seat of her car with his hands on the steering wheel.
This poor woman.
And now we're in the parking lot hanging out because back then there was nothing else to do.
That's what it's called, parking lot.
Imagine
mall crawlers.
Imagine working at a place, and then on a Friday night, your dumb ass is parked in the parking lot talking shit to people who were getting off. But it was nice out. It was nice and cool,
Yep.
And we waited. And she finally got everything cleaned up. And she's out there jawing with her friends and talking. And then she walked over to her car.
And there was this guy sitting in the car.
And when she opened the door, man, she let out a blood-curdling scream because he done got her twice in one day. So now here's the hate crime part of this.
Oh, buddy. Here we go.
So now this is no racial aspect to this story because Santa's white.
Let's go.
But there's a bridge that goes over one of the two main intersections the two main highways in this town.
Okay.
All right. So we put a noose around old Santa and hung him.
Oh.
From the bridge. Now, so
I didn't know him at this point.
So now here's the thing about a noose back then. It didn't mean anything, but
don't tell Bubba Wallace. Well,
here's the thing. Now, none of us could have tied a noose with an instructional video. So it was more like a loop.
But
here's the thing about if you're going to hang a Santa, the only thing you can do is use a loop.
Yeah.
So imagine you're driving down the road and there's Santa hanging
from the overpass.
All right.
And there's only two main roads in this town.
And there's no cell phones back then, so somebody had to stop and call the law from the law. You all right, mister? Speak to me. So yeah, now if you've done, and look, man, that's all fun and hijinks and a bunch of bullshit. Mm-hmm. But now let's imagine some 14, 15-year-old kids come up with a Santa Claus and hung his ass from anywhere.
Felony hate crime.
Oh my, dude!
Instantly.
In this town that we live in, there was when you got a tow strap, sometimes you'll have a rope. A thick rope with a loop on both ends that you'll wrap around the tongue of the, So, and then it's not something that it's not something that's uncommon, But if you're in the redneck community, it's not a noose. It's just something that you use to pull people out of mud pits and stuff,
or a fire hose, something like that.
Right. All right. So apparently, one of them somehow or another got thrown somewhere, and it was like hanging from a tree. Mm-hmm. All right, but it wasn't a noose. It was one of these things. And it was obvious if you know anything about redneckery, mm-hmm. you would see that and say, "Oh, that's exactly what that thing is."
It was probably a swing.
Well, the local doctor saw it and was racially offended by it, and it was a shitstorm in this town. Someone had hung a noose near where this guy worked, and it was obviously directed at him. And oh my God.
Did it have his name on it?
Well, no, but anybody with any sense could look at it and say, look,
that's a toe strap.
If they was going to hang a noose, right, then they would have tied it around a tree branch. It wouldn't be just flung into the damn tree. Mm-hmm. If it was directed at you, it probably would have been right there by your damn door.
With your name on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about this. There hadn't been nobody hung anybody in this damn town,
But it's the mystique.
Well, I mean it's
because
just,
of the old sheriff.
It's just, So.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, we certainly weren't trying to oppress anybody. We were just trying to
screwing around.
We were just trying to screw with poor old Father Christmas.
You're screwing around. But again, we go back to our youthful days. Things we did now are felonies.
Oh, everything.
Things we did are now considered felonies.
Yep. We're talking about the fact that back then, my 16-year-old self couldn't have got his hand on a damn firework to save his life. Now I can buy the shit out of them and blow up my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. All right. So we've gone in a good direction.
For some certain things.
Right. For that thing, right? For the freedom of expression of blowing shit up. Mm-hmm. Okay. But if you're talking about any little thing that's a remotely
fun,
it's a damn hate crime now. It scares the shit out of people.
Yep, you can't do it.
You're oppressing me. What? Well, I wasn't trying to impress you. I was just making a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah. What was the movie?
What kind of cheese is that? Swiss cheese. White people are from Switzerland.
How dare you?
Yeah.
What was the movie? The Breakfast Club. You remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
And they blew up the toilet.
Yep.
Today it would be, which toilet did you blow up?
Well, let me tell you
You blew up the toilet that transgenders are using.
No,
that's a hate crime.
Let me tell you my toilet blow up story.
You really did that?
So here's the deal.
Oh, brother.
So I just said I couldn't get fireworks when I was a kid, but one thing we could get was M80s. There was
cherry bombs, they were called.
Cherry bombs, they were called. And they would blow the shit out of something. Mm-hmm. So we had one, and I happened to be in summer school.
They had the wax on the top?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could throw them in the water and they'd blow up.
They were waterproof.
So I had one, and I happened to be in summer school that year because I was working hard. I was such a good student that I didn't want to go and not work in the summer too. So I worked at.
Gotcha.
If you believe that,
Yeah.
Needless to say, the summer school was in a town about 30 miles away in this county that everybody had to go to. So I'm there with all these different students, but my friends were there.
I went to summer school for like 6 years straight.
So my friends are there. We used to ride together, and we would go have lunch together. Mm-hmm. And we were talking with this young lady who was kind of wild, and we were talking about things, and I happened to show her the M80. And that's not a euphemism. Right? So
he showed her the wick.
So she says, she's like, wow, what'd you do with that? And I was like, oh man, we blow up all kinds of stuff with it. Mm-hmm. So she's like, you ever heard of people blowing up the toilet with those things? And it's like, yeah. I've heard it, that you can flush them down the toilet and blow the pipes up and cause all kinds of hellacious damage in a system.
Just time it right.
Right. So she's like, oh, I want to do that. So of course.
Who is this woman?
Well, she's still in town and she's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
That's her calling now. Don't tell that story, you son of a bitch. So.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
So.
That's the police department.
Yeah. So I'm talking to her about it when she's like, I want to do that. Not one of us said, you know what, that's not a good idea. All of us were like, heck yeah,
I'm in.
We're in. So she was going to take it into the ladies' room, and I said, now here's how this works. You flush the toilet so that the water is
already going.
Light the fuse, drop it in the toilet, and it will go down in the pipe, blow the shit out of it, and water will come up. Maybe we'll get the hell out of school today.
Yeah. Water comes up the tube.
Right.
Up the toilet.
Right. So it was the first week of summer school.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure where the bathroom was. So I gave her the cherry bomb, gave her the M80, gave her the lighter. We've been back from lunch for about 30 minutes, and she raises her hand. She's going to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh shit, she's really going to do it. She's really going to do it. And she gets up, and her little heels, of her shoes are going clack, 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 clack across the tile floor. Mm-hmm. She gets to the door, shuts the door, and we can hear her going down the hallway, clack, 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 clack. Then I hear the door open. It's literally right behind where I'm sitting.
The classroom.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I hear the door close. I hear the little feet clack, clack, clack. I hear the door of the stall
it's just echoing
open.
In your brain.
And I'm like, oh, because it's quiet, and I'm like, holy crap, it's right there.
The teacher's gonna hear it. She
lights the fuse, flushes the toilet. It's spinning around when it explodes. Boom! And shatters the porcelain of the bowl.
Oh, no way, because it didn't go down.
No, and you hear clank, and then you hear ding, 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 ding. Yep, and you hear clack, 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 clack. You hear the door shut, clack, 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 clack. She comes back in, sits down like nothing happened.
She wasn't soaked with water?
No. Everybody in the class was looking at her like, what in the hell just happened? The teacher, I'm in shock because I'm thinking, all right, well, this is it. I'm done. I'm done. The teacher goes out into the hallway, comes back in, escorts her out of the classroom, and off to the office they go. Of course, just water's flowing everywhere. The toilet's exploded. I mean, you heard it just crash. Now I'm sitting there holding a tight ass for the rest of the day because it's like, all right, I'm done. First week of summer school, I'm going to be expelled. I'm going to have all these trouble. You know, I will give that girl credit, and I'm friends with her to this day. She never said a word.
No.
Never said a word.
She took the heat.
Took the heat. Her mom and dad had to come up there. They kicked her ass out of the school. They had to buy a new toilet.
Oh, my goodness.
And not once did she say a word about it.
She ate that.
She took it.
That's
like
a trooper.
Man. That is a trooper.
That's a trooper.
And now the great thing.
Today there'd be an FBI investigation.
Oh my God! They would have had grief counselors because somebody would have been upset that the toilet blew up.
I'm affected.
That's where the transgenders go to the bathroom. So,
he had to blow up just that toilet.
Yeah, no, that's a Nazi.
Oh Lord!
The thing about it is now I see her. I see this young lady on Facebook, and she is one of the biggest patriots. You know, well, I say young lady. She's my age, but. You know, one of the biggest patriots out there. She's, always hustling and doing stuff.
And she kept her mouth shut.
You know what? Maybe that was the turning point. That changed her life.
Maybe.
She got her act together.
Congratulations, you did that.
Yeah.
See, told you he's the Godfather.
This is what you should be playing, that patriotic music. But yeah, so that's my toilet exploding story.
I have one, but it was in a porta potty.
Oh, Lord.
And it was many, many years ago. It was a construction site, apparently. And back then, they didn't have signs and cameras watching. We had a whole paper bag of cherry bombs.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know where we ended up getting them. Somebody had them. Somebody's parent had them. We ended up with them. We were running around, and the kid that was lighting them, he was an older kid. He was like 4 years older than us.
Yeah.
We were like 11. He was like, 15 maybe. And he had a Zippo lighter.
Oh, yeah.
Where he would flick it off his jeans and then light it because he smoked. He used to smoke Marlboro. So we're all following this dork around and he's cherry bombing up everything. And he was like, hey, hold this bag. And it was his little brother. He gives him the bag. He runs over. We're in the construction site, just throwing rocks. We used to pick up dirt bombs. You remember those? They were hard dirt.
Yep.
And you throw them at each other and they just poof, and they burst. He runs over to the toilet, the porta potty, drops one in. And this is on the weekend, so they weren't working. And he hauls butt. We're all running, right? All of a sudden, it sounded like Hiroshima. There was poop and plastic everywhere. Worst part, we left our bikes on the hill.
Oh, man.
We had to go back and get our bikes. They were covered in crap. That was the worst smell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yep.
It was on the bike grips. It was on the seat.
Yep.
But we had to get out of there, if the cops came or whatever.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't me.
You can't do that today.
Yeah.
Today a kid will get shot over something stupid like that.
I mean, everything's crazier today. We talk about that so much on this podcast. Everything is like,
You know why? Because it's too far gone.
Yep.
This country's never going to be the same.
Well, what'll happen, the Great Reset needs to work in reverse of what they're talking about. It needs to just reset things back to, when men were men and women were women and people knew the
Those
difference.
were the
Those
days.
were the days.
But the Great Reset.
Oh, boy.
You brought up a touchy subject. They're planning that.
Well, I love it. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
And you'll be happy because we told you.
There was a time in my life when I did own nothing, and I wasn't too damn happy about it.
That's called your early 20s.
Well, and here's the thing that one of the things they talk about is, if you want something, you lease it. Well, then who owns that?
Somebody owns it.
Who are you leasing it from?
Yep.
If I'm going to own nothing, he can't own nothing.
But they don't see it like that.
Oh, no.
That's what all this is about. And they're doing the, Delta variant's going to be stepping up. People are going to be putting these stupid masks
That's why
again.
I'm blowing up the neighborhood and
it's going to be covered in smoke anyway. Don't even worry about it.
I heard that fireworks smokes out the corona.
Yeah. Well, no, what did Trump say? UV light.
UV light. Well, there's going to be there's going to be
a
the
lot of
rockets
UV
red
light
glare.
going on
There's
there.
going to be the rockets red glare at my
Rockets
house.
red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
And on the ground.
Proof through the night.
Yep.
That our flag was still there. Which flag? Because they want to change that.
Oh, good Lord.
Come on.
I saw a picture today. Remember the lady that was for the U.S. track and field that didn't like the fact that the American anthem was playing, the national anthem?
She turned.
Yeah, she turned her back on it.
She don't look quite like a lady, but
well, there's a picture of her now back when she got on the team waving an American flag. Like,
You're
what
kidding me.
happened to this kid?
Her check cleared. Somebody paid her enough to say, hate your country.
Well, now she's covered in tattoos and whatever, man. That's why she come in third place.
Yeah.
Her head wasn't in the game.
What's that? Oh, she's third place.
Yeah, she was third place. The two winners saluted the flag.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. She'll lose. She ain't gonna. Oh, what about this Tricky Dicky? I don't even know why I said that, because we were talking about Richard Nixon earlier.
Because I busted Richard Nixon.
There you go. The transgender that is going to be on the BMX team or whatever.
Said he'd burn a flag if he won. Well, don't worry. It ain't going to win nothing.
It ain't going to win. And plus, I think people will come out the stands and stomp.
Oh, man. I would this is the thing, man. You see these, like, one of my favorite videos when that FedEx man pulled his truck over and snatched that flag away from them people that was trying to burn it.
Yep. God bless them.
Yep. And they were all like, you can't give me back my flag.
That's my property.
It's like, not anymore, sucker.
Okay, we're back to the, defunding the police.
Well,
that happened out in California.
Oh yeah, they just dumped they just took another 100-some thousand away from
Oakland, California, where they need the police. Everything's fine till somebody jumps on one of them politicians.
Oh, somebody stopped one the other day. Black Lives Matter. They stopped. Get this is in California, and I couldn't tell you what city it is. So there's a county commissioner or something that's a transgender. So it's this black dude that dresses in dresses.
Oh, jeez.
He looks like he looks like J.J. Walker in in his aunt's clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So these white kids with Black Lives Matter shirts on stopped this black transgender guy. All right,
what?
And because whichever way it swings is on its way to do something.
Whichever way it swings.
So good Lord. So they make them sign this thing that where they're going to a promise on a piece of paper that they're going to release one of the BLM activists that apparently that's still in jail. And the irony of it is, like, you got these white kids who woke. Like
Black Lives Matter
that's
members.
Like a perfect black hole of wokeness. Everybody involved there. I don't feel sorry for none of them.
Mm-hmm.
You reap what you have sown. So you got a Black Lives Matter activist, and he's a white male, right? Okay. First of all, they're always the most pasty faced. You know what I mean? Like, dude looks like he couldn't hold a Dixie cup full of water without shaking.
Yep.
And he's going to sit there and go, no justice, no peace. You can see the guy.
My goodness.
He's like, I'm very upset here, people. Don't you know that Black Lives Matter? We're over here trying to stop this racial inequality.
Yeah, right.
So get your black ass off the road. Could you imagine?
Yeah, I could imagine.
I mean,
Not in Florida, you can't
what's
imagine
going
that.
through this lady's head? Whatever. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if it was a dude or a chick wanting to be a dude or a dude wanting to be a chick.
A chick with a pickle.
But imagine, I can imagine whatever it is thinking, who in the hell does this white boy think he is?
Yep. I mean, how did all this start? You had the lady that was part of the NAACP. Who was she? The white lady that was super tan. And
Rachel Dolans.
That one.
That was transracial.
Transracial.
Well, now they got a white Englishman that's got surgery to be Korean.
Excuse me.
That happened today. My wife showed me the video. I couldn't believe it. So this guy went and paid, I don't know how many thousands of dollars to have his eyes slanted. And he's a big fan of this Korean pop singer. So now he's learned Korean, and he's like a
You got any tape in here? We can do that for free.
He's like a transracial Korean.
Oh my goodness.
And so but that, since he's liberal, he's not culturally appropriate. I don't know how the hell the rules work.
There are no rules anymore.
Right. But he's like speaking Korean. It's like, what?
And he's from Cleveland.
Right. No. He's from England. He's got a YouTube channel. But it's just like at some point, at some point, people have to be able to be held accountable. Like, no, I don't suffer from the same delusion that you do.
Yeah, that's
you're not black. You're not Korean.
and you are not a woman.
Yeah, you are a dude
in a dress
who got some surgery, and you're wearing a dress, but you're still a dude. Just be that. Just be that. And you're a white lady. My favorite one is that damn Sean King,
Talcum
X himself.
When you called him, I don't know what we were doing, and it was something like important, and I had mentioned his name. This was like a year ago.
Oh heck, I couldn't remember.
And then you were like, "You mean Talcum X?"
Talcum X.
And I think I spit water everywhere. Yeah. Talcum X.
This guy.
He's whiter than you.
His parents are. I mean, and I'm pretty damn white. His parents are like, there is no
black here,
no coffee in that cream. You know what I mean? Like, there's no black here.
Right.
So then you got this guy that's like, he shaves his mustache, this little penciled in deal,
right?
And he shaves his hair real close. Because, now look, back when my Twitter career was in full bloom, and I had thousands of followers, and kind of, before I got banned, I challenged him. I posted on his page, and it was getting some steam, that I would give $10,000 to the charity of his choice if he could grow an afro.
He can't do it.
Hell no, he can't do it.
He's a Pee Wee Herman.
He can't. No way.
He looks just like Pee Wee Herman with glasses.
I will give $10,000 to the charity of your choice.
He can't do it.
Afro. No, he can't.
We got to get you back on Twitter, man.
Nah,
come on.
My mental health has never been better since I got off.
You got off that crap.
Because I'm telling you what, we joke about all the stuff that's going wrong in society, and then you get on there. It is so disheartening
to be a part of that.
What has happened to the American, just the morale, the soul of this country. And now here's the facts. Twitter accounts for 0% of what real people think.
Right.
It's 500 or 600 people in New York City that are setting the trends, and LA that are setting the trends, and then thousands of idiots that are commenting.
Yep. Makes sense.
Right. But it's not, middle America has nothing to do with Twitter. I mean, most of the people that you meet have never tweeted a damn thing.
Right.
But when you watch the news, what do they say?
On Twitter.
A firestorm of controversy. A firestorm is some serious shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a fire. That's a storm, right? Like, that's like, okay, it ain't a fire, and it ain't a storm. It's a storm made out of fire.
Right.
All right. That's your ass.
Yep. You're done, Dave. Right. You ain't getting out of that.
So 10 perverts tweeting about something they don't like is not a firestorm.
Not a firestorm.
I can't believe Donald Trump said something horrible today.
He sent mean tweets.
He said that lady wearing a dress wasn't a lady.
Can you believe that's where we're at today? Oh. Like, honestly, you and I talked about cryogenics and Disney freezing himself. Imagine,
I'm thinking about freezing myself just to get the hell out of here. Bring me back in 50 years.
Hell no. What do you think it's going to look like 50 years from now?
Well, just put me back in the ice.
50 years from now, I mean,
God.
Well, no genders.
Here's the way the pendulum always swings. And this is where the left makes their biggest damn mistake.
Go ahead.
Because it's not good for anybody. They push the envelope and push the envelope and push the envelope for everything's permissible. I mean, like, look. When I see they got this kid, Desmond or whatever, the drag queen kid that's like 11-year-old kid, and he's out on the street shaking his ass, and grown men are putting dollar bills in his pants, right?
That's pedophilia,
money at him, right? To me, that's an ass whooping.
Yeah.
His parents, everybody involved.
Yep.
All right.
100%.
And you send that kid to boot camp, get his shit straight.
Mm-hmm.
And,
don't send them to the Air Force. They just had a drag queen freaking show.
And the damn Air Force they took away the running requirement. Like, you don't have to run anymore. Like, to get in, you used to have to run a mile or something.
Yeah, mile and a half in less than 12 minutes.
Not anymore.
I know it by heart.
Not anymore. So
you don't have to run to get into the military?
Nope. Not the Air Force.
The Flyboys.
Well, but not everybody in the Air Force flies.
Well, that's the nickname.
So, yeah. But here's the thing about the pendulum. So all this horrible shit happens, and the average man just sits there and goes, I can't take it. I can't believe this. And then you have a generation that grows up under it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you ask a small child if you're fat, and guess what? If you're fat, he's going to tell you, yeah, you're fat.
Until he gets into school.
Do I have a big nose? Yeah, you got a big ass nose. You know what I mean? Like the little kids, because
tell you the truth.
Well, no, they see the world as it is.
Yep.
So when these kids are watching TV, even though there's indoctrination, the kid knows something ain't right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, man, that's a dude in a dress.
Yep.
What the hell, man?
And they look. You see them looking like, that don't look
Yeah,
like,
something ain't
right.
jiving here.
But now they got it on Nickelodeon.
So the kids, that generation grows up. And now you also got these kids that are being told, excuse me, you're a little white kid. Yeah. Oh, guess what? You're responsible for all the horrible shit that's happened in the world. You're a terrible person. Your parents are responsible for slavery, and
hate yourself.
You're a colonizer, or all these horrible things. And meanwhile, this kid's like, I just wanted to play Legos. I don't know nothing about any of this shit.
Listen,
Right.
Did I ever tell you the story that happened to me in third grade? With the cotton?
No.
Oh, sit back for this one, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I'm going to tell this story after we take a quick break. All right, folks, sit back. Here's my third grade story, okay? It was myself and another African-American kid. I think we can... What are we now? We used to be slaves, then Negro, then black, then Afro-American. We're back to African-American?
I don't know what the proper terminology is.
I don't know.
Anymore.
They keep changing it. So, whatever.
People of color.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because I know no other race changes.
Well, here's the thing. I'm more colorful than you.
I know, right?
I got blue eyes, blonde hair, pink skin. Your ass is brown from the top to bottom.
God, just one plain old color. But here's the funny part. Every other race stays the same except African, black, Negro, whatever. What the hell?
In style to say, yeah.
Come on, there's always a change.
I
But
prefer the term American.
yeah, period.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. So, me and out of a class, maybe 15 kids, right? Back then, it was myself and another black kid named Marcius. Marcius was lightning fast. Okay. Marcius could do backflips. We played football at recess. We were always the first two to get picked, right? Couldn't bring me down, but you couldn't catch Marcius, right? So, we go into Black History Month, February.
Yep.
The teacher has us come to the front of the class, and she gave all the little kids, the white kids, pieces of paper, sheets of paper, ball them up. Everybody ball these up like snowballs. You two stand at the front of the classroom. So we're standing there. Now, everybody, we're going to learn about slavery. And slaves came to this country against their will. They were snatched, thrown in boats. Their moms were killed. Fathers were thrown overboard if they didn't listen. If they were disobedient on their journey, they got thrown overboard. So I remember standing at the front of the class looking at this kid like, where's this woman going with this? And she said, slaves were sold when they hit America. They weren't free. Now, you take two kids, third grade. What are you, 9 years old?
8,
yep. 9 years old, who were friends with everybody, saw no division, saw no race.
Right.
We were just cool with everybody. We all sat together at the lunch table and laughed and made, spitballs.
Right.
Drank our chocolate milk, burped.
Right. Same
went out
old,
to
same
recess.
old.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone was the same until this day. And I'll never forget this day. This stupid teacher had us at the front of the classroom. She's talking about slavery and picking cotton, and slaves couldn't eat until all the cotton that the master needed was picked. And the masters were only white. So I'm standing there, and she had all the kids start throwing their cotton at us. And they're hitting the chalkboard. We're all laughing. We're kids. We're third grade. Her next sentence changed my life forever. Lunch bell. All right, you two got to pick up all this cotton before you come to lunch. And she said, when you leave, shut the lights off. All the other kids went out in the hallway, lined up, and walked down to the lunchroom. And they went to lunch and left me and this other kid in the classroom to pick up all these little cotton balls of paper that they all threw at us. You do that to an 8-year-old kid
Oh, yeah.
who didn't know the world was divided, two things happened. Marcia started crying. I got angry.
Oh, yeah.
He started picking that up. I said, put it down. We're not picking this up. We're going to get in trouble. I said, no, we're going to lunch. I remember I went to reach to hit the light switch, and I saw the teacher's purse. I went over to grab that purse, and I hid it into the bookshelf behind the books. I said, let's go. We go to lunch. I remember the trays were orange. They look like prison trays now that I think about it.
Yep.
They were orange trays with the cutouts in them. They just slopped the food on it. We get our trays. We go to our normal table. And all the kids were like, no, you can't sit with us. Slaves got to eat by themselves. All our friends turned their backs on us because of the way this teacher was teaching.
But now, does this teacher think that she was like doing the social justice version type thing?
I don't know what the hell she was thinking.
Yeah.
But this
there's no way.
ruined.
Yeah, there's no way.
This ruined
Like,
the whole class.
right. Because now it's divided.
Division.
Yeah.
We go out to recess. First of all, we went and had to go sit by ourselves. The teacher laughed. You know, that's why I say parents got to get a little more. Well, hell, you can't even go into the schools anymore to check on your kids like you used to be able to, right? You used to be able to bring your kid a sweater at lunch.
Yeah. Well,
you can't do that anymore.
No.
But the teacher, I remember, instead of them intervening like, okay, everybody just sit together, she was sitting at the table laughing with the other teachers. And I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
We go out to recess. We ate, go out to recess. They didn't pick us. We're playing football. Nope, didn't pick us. And I remember, like, how do you, now I know as a grown up, I know the word is alienate.
Yeah.
But as a kid, that hurts. You're like, one of two things. It's going to hurt you to where you quit and give up and become a pansy, which was what happened to Marcia's.
Yeah.
Or two, you're going to fight and get bitter, which was happening to me. Lo and behold, they didn't pick us. We went and sat on the swings. They're all playing. And I said, that's it. Marcia's, go catch that. Go get the ball. They can't catch him. He's lightning fast. Marcia's ran. I said, go get it. Bring it back to me. He ran, got that ball, ran back to me. I took that ball and punted it on top of the school. No, if I'm not playing,
Nobody's playing.
nobody's playing. Teacher, what'd you do that for? Whatever. I whistle blew. We had to line up. This punk kid, Michael, little bastard, if I ever see him again.
Michael, if you listen out there, don't stop listening. We still need you. We still need
No,
the numbers.
if you're listening, you know what happened. Michael came. We're in line. He walks up to me and punched me square in the eye. Just for no reason, right? I remember I had my jacket on. I remember my eyes started watering and started getting blurry. I wanted to cry, but I remember my dad's voice. See, when you had a dad back in those days, it was, if you ever get in a fight and lose, when you come home, I'm beating your ass. That's how my dad rolled.
Yep.
So my thought process instantly when I got hit in the eye was, if I don't go back there and beat this kid up, my dad's going to beat my ass. I remember I stepped out of line. I heard the teacher calling my name. I went back there. He hit me in the eye. I hit him in the eye. That was the first fight I had. Dropped him. He's crying, balled up, snotting, whatever. I went and got back in line. Oh my God, what you did that for? Principal's office. Lo and behold, my dad came in because he worked second shift. He was about to leave for work. He got the call. He comes in. I remember he walked in the office. I'm sitting there. He looked at me. He goes into the office. He comes out, tells me to come in the office. I go in, and I'm thinking I'm dead. It's over. And principal, well, you got to go home. We can't, condone fighting and blah, blah, blah. I get in my dad's, he had a Ford Bronco 2. It was brown and tan. And we go home. We're driving up the hill, and he goes, you want a burger? I was like, what? He's like, let's go get McDonald's. And I was like, what? He was like, I told you. Anyway, they put their hands on you. You don't defend yourself.
Yep.
I'm going to beat your ass when you get home. You defended yourself. He said, you were in the right. When my mother got home and he told her what happened, she was at that school the next day. I don't quite know what happened.
Was he talking about the cotton?
Well, I remember the police department called the house because they thought I stole her purse. And I had to show them where it was the next day, and they left me alone.
So
But
it makes
that's
me
what
wonder.
happens in schools, folks.
It makes me wonder if this teacher was trying to,
Be a
in
bitch.
some
Excuse my
misguided,
language. I'm not supposed to be swearing.
in some misguided way, was trying to do that to show the other kids that it's bad to do that, or if she was doing it just to. I mean, I just couldn't imagine.
The look on her face and the laughing.
I just couldn't imagine somebody being that stupid. Even back then.
We're talking small town, country.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were that stupid. That's how they rolled. Because I'll never forget that feeling of,
Yeah.
what the hell just happened? That was my first instinct of, I'm different, right?
Well, and here's the thing where the left once again overreaches and creates the exact opposite of their intended consequences.
Okay.
So they want to, by this critical race theory and everything else that they do, when they're in the school system, and which goes back to what I was saying about how the pendulum swings.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They hassle these kids, these little white kids, and they tell the little black kids, anything that's going wrong in your life is that guy's fault.
That's today.
And they tell little white kids, all the evils of the world are because of people like you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is that what critical race theory is?
Well, I mean, but in a nutshell. So
they just need to stop teaching racism. Period.
And what it does is those kids who don't know, they don't know anything about being different other than, hey, I like this guy and I like that guy.
He's my buddy.
He's my friend. He's my friend.
He's good at basketball. I'm good at football.
So they think what we're going to do is rewire these little people's brains so that they see racism for what it is a horrible thing. If they were left alone, look, there's always going to be racist. There's always going to be people who don't like aspects of other people's culture. They're just always going to be that.
What did Morgan Freeman say? You want to know how to put an end to racism? Stop talking about it.
Right. I mean, and so what they've done with everything just like with everything they do, they overreach every single time to where a generation is coming that don't give a shit about racism. That's just going to be like, you know what?
Too bad.
To hell with black people because they treated me this way. Or, and vice versa, with the Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. It's all this white people's fault, therefore I hate them. So instead of
a race war.
Instead of bringing a group, making these kids together, now okay, with the minority community on this campus needs a safe space. Right? Then we need a safe space. So we're going to have a student union with no white people can come in, and we're going to have a group where it's only ethnic voices. All right. So the white
dresses
kid,
on.
Well, whatever. But the white kid says, all right, well, okay.
We'll go form our own club.
I'll go do something else. Well, no, good God, they couldn't form it. No. They would never dare.
It's called the Klan.
Yeah, they would never dare. But so they just say, all right, well, I guess I won't use the library today. They can do that. Now, you and when all is permissible, all right, it's okay for a 10-year-old kid to be a drag queen. It's okay for all this, What they do is what happens is a generation comes and they say, I've had enough of this shit. I've had enough. And that's when the right overreaches. Mm. That's when they come in and say, all right, look, remember Iran, right? Iran, in the
Persia in the Bible.
Well, in the 70s, they didn't wear burqas. The women wore skirts. It was like they
were free. It wasn't like a religious theocracy. It was, the Shah of Iran. All right. Well, because of all the oil and stuff over there, and everything, he gets deposed, and that gave rooms for the clerics to start up, to fill the power vacuum, and they took over because they owned everything.
Right. Well, now women can't drive. All these horrible. It was the exact opposite. Now they're in this oppressive culture. Mm-hmm. So when you have things like that, they could you imagine being a young lady in the 80s in Iran, and you see all this come to pass, and you're like, wow, you're thinking about getting married, you're thinking about going off and maybe working at the university or a job. Now it's like you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere. Because they, by those standards, the people who took over,
right,
the mullahs, when they took over, they thought, well, everything is being way too everything's permissible. Everything's way too promiscuous here.
We're going to slow this down.
We're going to slow this down. And so they overreached, and now you can't do anything. And the same thing, not to a degree, the same thing will happen here. But what they've done is
if they take guns away, absolutely.
Well, they've created two groups that hate each other that normally wouldn't hate each other. They would have disagreements, but the hate wasn't there. And even among like sexuality, when I was a kid, we would call each other gay slurs or whatever because it was just...
It was degrading.
Yeah, I mean, it was something... Yeah. If you call... Oh, man, that's gay. You're gay. Mm-hmm. So that was like one of the worst things you could say to a dude. But there were...
Mostly started a fight.
But there were way worse things you could say, but if you said them like you're a mother effer, right? You say something like that. Now your butt's in trouble at school. And I mean, like somebody dare... But if you say, man, that's gay. You're gay. The teacher don't care. Nobody cares.
Right.
All right. So that's why it became a slang word for lame.
Disrespect. Yeah. Yep.
You're lame. That's stupid. Mm-hmm. So, but nobody was like,
well, hell, it was a lyric in the Flintstones. Gay old time.
But that meant happy. But like nobody... There were, just like everything, there's always isolated incidents, where some guy beats the hell out of some poor bastard just because he's gay. Mm. All right.
And I would never condone that.
No, hell no. When they killed that poor guy out in Texas it's like you don't condone evil against anyone for any reason.
Right. You don't pay evil with evil.
No. So when you have, what comes to mind is when they drugged that poor guy out in Texas. They drug him behind the truck.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Right. Dude, that's horrifying. But the people who did that, they would do that to, it was, they're the outlier. They're not the norm.
Right.
All right. There's even people who, oh man, these the people moving in this neighborhood are driving me crazy. But nobody advocates hanging or killing or hurting anybody. It's very rare.
But every time there is a hate crime committed, they go hurt 10 other people somewhere. But that Texas hate crime got 10 people in Chicago hurt.
But, you understand? Oh, yeah. But the issue there is when you get these people, when you hassle law-abiding people, mm-hmm, who had nothing to do with it, then you start turning people into the exact thing you don't want them to be.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like most people, there's a lot of people, hey, I don't mind guns. I don't care and there's a lot of people don't care either way. Mm-hmm. I don't care about guns. I don't really need a gun, but I'm not going to stop you from getting a gun. Mm-hmm. But then the left overreaches.
Nobody can have them.
Nobody can have them. Well,
unless they're protecting us.
Now this guy says, man, with all these protests and riots and all this crazy stuff, I didn't really want guns, but hell, it might be my last chance to get one. Mm-hmm. And now the exact opposite of what they intended comes to pass. More people have guns.
Well, who was the number one salesman for Smith & Wesson?
Oh, geez, Obama and
Barack Obama. Sorry.
That's where once again, like I said, the left, their constant overreach causes the pendulum to shift dramatically, mm-hmm, and that's where we're heading up to. So what brought about this conversation was, if we were cryogenically sleeping for 50 years, you might be damn surprised at what happened when you woke up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yep. Like you might be the liberal. You know what I mean? Like,
geez. Picture that one.
Yeah. Hell no. It's definitely,
But, we say all this based on freedom and unity, and there isn't any anymore. We are losing our freedoms daily. I don't care what color you are.
But there's more unity out there than the news media would let on. And I see it I see it just in the local, like the different civic groups and things that I'm involved in.
Okay.
Where it used to be, we'd be lucky to have 30 people. Now there's 130 people.
Okay.
So there's more people that are saying, I got to get off the sidelines because I don't
They're
agree
getting
with
involved.
what's happening. They're getting involved.
Right.
So, that, and there are, like, I know several people who, and in the last few years, I've heard them say, we used to be Democrats. And these are just middle of the road people. I mean, kind of people that know who won the last 10 Super Bowls, but couldn't tell you who the vice president is. You know what I mean?
Right,
Or what job they do. So, those people are starting to say, the Democrat Party, we just signed up to be Democrats and it was cool. We liked Obama, but man, the party of Obama, it's a whole different thing now. It's a whole different
the beginning
ballgame.
party.
Yeah. So those people, when I am more confident in my fellow man when I hear those stories of like, hey, I couldn't take it when like I left the party when this happened. Mm-hmm. When they started wanting to do hormone blockers on 10-year-old kids because,
Done. Yeah.
Right.
That's tremendously evil.
Yeah. So I think, I'm optimistic for the next 10 years, next 20 years, because these people, look, my daughter's school, but most of the kids in her class are conservative people. Mm-hmm. And through my various political endeavors, like, my daughter got a picture with the governor and
well, you were an example for her.
But, or like, and Trump signed a hat for her one time. So,
oh, that's big.
Oh yeah. Well, for a 10-year-old kid,
Heck yeah.
It's huge. But like, so her friends are like, man, your dad's cool. Like he got you in to see Trump, or he got you, where there's only a couple kids in her class that were like, mass Nazis, liberal Biden nuts. And that just comes from their parents.
Well, the teachers are like that too.
But not in that school.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some, but most of the teachers that I've been very happy with who, who's been her teachers over the years.
Good deal. Well, we're out of time, buddy.
Yeah, once again.
Come on, it's getting
stuff
better.
goes too fast.
We got to have a guest on here.
We have to pull one of those Joe Rogan 4-hour podcasts.
Right, that'd be cool. We can.
We'd have to start at 3 in the afternoon.
I know, right? On a weekend. Yeah, but Rogan's on there.
Here's the thing, man. Who would we have as a guest?
Yeah, we got to think of some guests.
Well, I got plenty of people that would do it, but
would it ruin their career?
Well, no. Who do we want to taint? Who do we want to taint? It's like, we love this guy. He's running for office. Okay, don't come on the show. Don't come on the show.
Don't come on the show. All right. Well, we got a little bit of time. Give me some names that are running for office local that you support.
That I support?
Yep.
Boy, that's tough. After the conversations that we've had on this thing, and I start saying,
yeah, maybe not.
I start saying,
don't say
saying a name. I'm going to get a call tomorrow. Hey, man.
Hey, buddy.
Don't do that again.
Can you delete that one?
I can tell you who I support. Constitutional conservatives.
Good.
I support them. I wish I could say there were Democrats that were constitutional conservatives, but
I don't know any.
I haven't run into any.
I don't know anyway.
And there's a lot of Republicans that say they are that aren't.
There's a lot of rhinos.
But I can say this. I've helped quite a few get elected, in my way. And I'm not disappointed in 3 of them.
Oof. Really? The rest have flipped.
The rest have disappointed me. Now,
there's one big one that disappointed both of us that you really helped in a big way.
Yeah, don't say it.
I'm not going to say his name. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Okay. And he came back to speak again.
Yep.
And he was a different person. Like the establishment got to him.
No, when you get up to DC, man, that there's something in the water up there. Look, I believe they must take you into a room. I'll give you an example, and I will say this guy's name, Marco Rubio. All right. Back when we ran the Tea Party years ago, okay, he or his representatives would come hat in hand because he was running for Senate.
Okay.
And he would speak, and we would all walk away from that going, wow, this young man is the future of the Republican Party. This young man understands the Constitution. He understands what America is about. He understands.
And he's going to fight for us.
And he's going to fight for us. He gets in office, and the first thing he does is damn amnesty bill. And we were all like just broadsided, just blindsided by it. I can't believe he did that.
Yep.
Can't believe it.
He had a plan in mind.
Well, I just think that when you get to D.C., even if you're squeaky clean, everybody's got something screwy.
Or they create one.
Well, and I think that they walk into the man's office, not that this happened to Rubio, but hypothetically, they sit you down at your desk. And how are you doing? I'm glad that you won. Here's a manila folder. Would you like this to be public or private? And he flips through it, has no idea how in the world you got it. I mean, like, look, think about this.
Or it's faked.
Let's go back.
Photoshop.
Let's go back to the early 90s when Google was first the thing.
Right.
All right.
And everybody believed everything on there.
Well, no, but you would search for things. Now imagine you were 17 years old back then, and you search for things not knowing that those search histories could be
pulled back up.
Not only that, but they could tell the IP address. Like, nobody knew what the hell an IP address was. Nobody knew the hell what internet histories or anything of that was. So there are people who are into some really weird crap. And so that, or maybe they go through a phase where or maybe they're just curious because somebody said, "Hey man, did you know people do this with dead people?" What?
And they looked it up.
Right. And so those things exist out there. Their records exist out there. So, I mean, look, am I proud of everything I've ever Googled? Nope. If somebody had a list,
VPNs are for, buddy.
Well, I mean, look, there was no such thing as a VPN in the 90s.
Right.
But if somebody said, "Hey, I have your entire browser history, of everything you've ever looked at online and everything you've ever searched for online," and this will exonerate you from the murder case that you're involved in, I'd be like, I'll just do the time. I'll just do the time.
You goodness.
Your Honor, I'd like to introduce into the record his browser history. No. I'll just do the time.
I got a thought. With Epstein Island, a lot of people believe that was a honeypot and all that. And
it had to be.
And what's the other one? The Playboy Mansion was a honeypot.
Well, I mean,
and
yeah, people are snorting cocaine. And
there's video cameras everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So imagine, I'm just speculating. You got Bill Cosby handing out all these damn tainted pudding pops and people passing out. And as they're passed out, there's someone with a video camera putting them in precarious positions.
It's not just that, man. It's not just that. People are weird. People are into weird shit. And the people who pretend for a living are into really weird shit.
Right. Politicians.
Politicians and actors. If your job is to pretend to be somebody you're not, and that's a politician too.
Yep.
Because you have to go in as a politician and say, all right, the people are very inflexible on these three issues, therefore I must be inflexible on them. And so when I'm approached in public and somebody says, "What do you think about X, Y, or Z?" you have to have
that answer.
That answer right then and there.
Yep.
And there's some waver. Right, and you can't waver. So to a lesser degree than an actor, a politician has to pretend a bit for a living. So they get into, these people are they're into weird stuff. So when you got Hollywood, imagine Hollywood. Good Lord. And I know we're running long, but this is interesting stuff. So you're going to be in a movie and it's your lifelong dream. It's what you've wanted to do forever and ever and ever. And since you were a little kid, you've looked up to the stars and you've looked up to the people on the red carpet. This is what I want to do. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to drive a fancy car. I'm going to be an actor. Women are going to love me. And they get into a room. And this happens to them all. And don't let anybody say that any of these actors slipped this, and didn't have to do it.
I worked in entertainment for 23 years.
So you got a guy that says, "Well, you want this part? You know what you got to do." And the guy's like, "Well, I'm not gay." He said, "Yeah, I'm not either."
Yeah. But there's
so these guys do it. And if you think, and the sad part is, if these guys are doing it, then ladies are too. Like all this Weinstein nonsense.
Listen, the women are worse, buddy.
Well, I mean, like when I see all these women who are complaining about Harvey Weinstein.
No, he had a boss. It was a woman. I'm trying to tell you.
There are so many photos of them at parties, and they're just sitting there yucking it up with him. I'm telling you, if I had to, look, if I got to Hollywood and it's the only way you're going to get in this movie is you do this gay shit, whatever, right? I'd like to say, well, there's no way I'd do that. But but I don't have a desire to be an actor. If this was my life's desire, I mean, look, I'll tell you what, if it meant every Democrat in the country got unelected and replaced with Republicans, and all I had to do was some gay shit, I would be downtown.
Oh, not
because
me,
I would save my country.
I'd rather go to war.
Well, I'm just saying, because that's what's important to me.
Right.
Is
well,
the country.
now hold on.
Right?
Think about this.
But like these dudes, so they go and do that stuff, right? And to get these parts and whatnot. Well, I mean, people are filming that. Everything.
I want to ask you a question. Who's the modern day biggest, toughest, roughest actor you can think of? Like a man's man? Like today, within the past 5 years.
Oh, that ain't a big pooswa. The Rock.
The Rock, right?
Yeah.
What was his first acting role?
I'm going to put allegedly in front of this. No, I don't know.
Well, other than wrestling, his big first movie was Be Cool with John Travolta, and he was the gay bodyguard.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Yep.
How did they take the biggest, toughest wrestler?
Well, they always do that.
And
they always do that. They did it to Terry Crews.
him.
They do that to all the big guys.
Why?
Because that's their game.
But that I'm just proving your point.
Yeah.
Like they took the biggest. He was the Rock in the wrestling world.
Neither one of us is saying the Rock did any gay stuff. But
no, I'm saying he was the gay bodyguard to Be Cool.
Yeah,
with John Travolta, who.
Well, and John Travolta, who allegedly is not gay either. But
Hollywood has its own demons. Right.
Oh man, I mean real demons.
And they play people hard to the point, they might do one or two independent films and, make $30,000 a part. No. Then they get a call for the big one.
Yeah, the $1 million role.
The $1 million role or the $10 million role. Then they go into a meeting and they're like, look, you did 2 roles, you made $40,000. Here's $2 million.
This is life-changing money right here.
This not only that, you're going to get more lead roles. You went from a C actor to an A-list actor.
So bend over. That's what you're trying to say?
Multiple times.
Oh, man.
And that's the premise of Hollywood.
Yeah. So, So
there's very few that have made it big without having to do extracurricular work. You know what?
The best thing that the right could do, like remember when Las Vegas was kind of scummy, so they started Branson. Mm-hmm. There was no gambling there. It was just a place that you went for the shows, the Vegas style shows. Mm-hmm. It was all kind of homesy and country.
Yep.
And you got like the Hallmark Channel, that does all these shows. Why not just pick a town anywhere in the country, in the middle of the country, and just build a new Hollywood without all the perversion, without all the crazy stuff, and just bring people there and make entertainment again? Well,
they did that. Tyler Perry did that in Georgia. Wow. But COVID happened and there's no movies being produced. And all of a sudden,
he's doing Medea again.
In a dress.
Yeah.
Man in a dress.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing.
Well, final thought here, folks. We definitely ran longer. Just want to say happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day to everybody. And
in case you didn't know, the theme of this whole show was Independence 4th of July.
Folks,
and we always drag it through the mud.
If you've been our loyal listeners, we don't stay on topic. We go everywhere.
So, look, man, I'm proud to be an American.
Heck yeah.
I'm proud of this country. I'm happy. We've had our issues in the past, but there's nowhere on earth I'd rather live.
Rather be.
And
that's right.
And I guarantee anybody listening, there's nowhere they'd rather be too. They were all going to move to Canada when Trump came, and they didn't.
Ain't nobody left.
Nobody. They like to bitch about the place, and they want to burn flags and do all that stuff.
But
they still want to stand behind the protections that our Constitution affords, that our founding fathers fought and died for, And that's what Independence Day means.
It sure is. And the Constitution doesn't need to be rewritten. It needs to be reread.
Damn right.
By the damn politicians.
By the commies.
I want to read this scripture. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 16 reads, "Live as people who are free, not using your freedom as a cover-up for evil, but living as servants of God." This country is built on godly principles, and we got to return to it.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you for listening. If you're ready to make the decision and give your life to Christ today, stay tuned for the prayer of salvation. For more information, please visit our website at www.road.fm. Again, that's ROAD.fm. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platforms, and we ask that you share it with at least 10 people to spread the word. We are listener supported here, so on our website, please visit the donate page for ways to contribute and our shop page for the latest merchandise. Remember, we love you and Godspeed, everybody. Repeat after me. Jesus, I confess you as my Lord and Savior. Come into my heart and forgive me for all my sins. Cleanse me with your precious blood and write my name in the Lamb's Book of Life. Fill me with the Holy Spirit and lead me on the road to salvation. I pray this prayer in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.